Hi everyone, it's me Randy and I am channeling my best Jimmy Kimmel. So welcome to the show. We finally got that Beverly Hills trailer and I was only a week off, so I'm very excited for the new season. I cannot wait to see what happens with that. So why don't we get into Survivor? I liked this episode. It was a good episode. So we see that the tribes are getting news that they're all going to one camp. They arrive at the Kelly camp and they are not very excited to see them. They don't even get up when they hear them arriving. They let them arrive, they let them mingle, and then finally they go and greet them. We go into the challenge where they split them up. Well, before the challenge, they get news of a advantage in the challenge. And so there's a little competition for that. And they all have to run around the island looking for keys to try to open like this little treasure chest box thing. And eventually Sage is the one to win this. And so, cut to the challenge and at this point there's 11 people left in the game. So Sage is kind of taken out of the mix. The rest of the 10 are split into two groups and they're going to compete for the merge feast. And the group that wins is also going to compete for immunity. And Sage is already included in the merge feast and she's already included in the immunity challenge that is to come. I love Sage. I'm so happy with my pick of Sage. And I can't wait to see what else she does in this game. Hopefully she has a really long run and takes the W. The group that wins has the two Sophies, Nate, of course, Sage, and I think it has like Jawan, and I don't remember who else right now off the top of my head. When they have the immunity challenge, Sophie wins that. And there's this whole thing where they decide they're going to call Sophie from Hina Sophie, and Sophie from Kelly Soph. But I'm probably just going to call them, I don't know what I'm going to call them. We'll see. I'll call them whatever I want to call them. Now Steven is worried that Sophie is safe because now he thinks that all of Uli is going to come for him. That like he's the next biggest threat, and why would they worry about Christina? And Christina is strategizing with Hina, and they are thinking that they have Sage and Jawan. And Jawan and Sage are continually telling us how they want to get one over on old Uli whenever they get the opportunity. Sage specifically says she wants to get Savannah out, and then Jawan tells us he wants to get Rizzo out, especially after the immunity challenge, and Rizzo tells them that he wants to keep his idol. He doesn't want to play it. He wants to keep it for as long as possible. And, he wants to know where it is, because if he plays it, it's going to go back into the game, and he doesn't know, he's going to have to go look for it. There's going to be that whole question, did somebody already find it? Whereas right now he knows where it is. Rizzo is my other pick. We're getting a little bit more of him now that the game is going on, but it's just like little drops and nuggets. And it's just so crazy because even Jeff in this episode mentioned Survivor 50, and he's like, oh, there's still spots open for Survivor 50. Jeff, what in the F? No, there should not be any spots left. See, Survivor has done this for forever. I need to calm down. I need to get over it. Usually when they have a all-star season, a returnee season, more often than not, they will always include people from the previous season, people that aren't from years back, don't have history with the fans or the show, or, you know, like, they're new. And I just need to get over that. And even Savannah talks about it. Sophie talks about it. Sophie talks about wanting to make a big move. Sophie from Kele, the Blue Tribe. We get a little bit of something from everybody, which I do love about Survivor nowadays. So we kind of have talked about Jawan and Sage and Savannah and Rizzo. So the other person from original Uli is Nate. Nate tells us during the merge, or as the merge is taking place, he's happy because he did not think he was going to survive a vote with the tribe he was with at that time. Spoiler alert, he didn't survive a vote with these people. No, I love Nate. You know, obviously he is big in the Marvel world. He had a sweet story with his family. But yeah, he is the first person in the jury. He is the 8th person voted out, even though Jake was not voted out technically. So yeah, there's that. Who haven't we talked about? So we talked a little bit about Sophie B, Blue Sophie from the Blue Tribe, Kele Sophie. And, you know, it's just her and Alex left from the Kele tribe. And they have a moment where they come together, and she kind of just lays it out there and is like, you know, you're probably going to want us to go with Hina because you've been with Hina, as I have a preference for Uli because I've been with them now. And they seemingly have like a kumbaya come together, but even Alex is like, you know, she seems more loyal to Rizzo and Savannah, and I am truly in the middle. And it's funny because when they were talking, she talks about how the two of them are in the middle, but he is telling us, just us, how it's just him in the middle. And I really do feel that way. And, you know, he says that Sophie is going to be surprised by his decisions, but he wants to be with the numbers. And that's what he ends up doing. He does vote with Hina and Sage and Jawan. So that's a total of 7 votes against Nate. And then there were 4 votes, which were the 3 Uli tribe members plus Sophie B. You know, like I said, Survivor's really good now about giving us a little bit of everyone. Especially right now. They're in such an interesting position. Like, I'm definitely going to put it out there. I think that one of the next person to go is either going to be Christina or Sophie from Hina, because I think that Christina is almost in the same category of Nate, where, like, we didn't really get much of her. I think we even got more of Nate, just as far as I don't know, we did get that one bit of Christina where she talks about her mom, but she just doesn't, it's like her and Nate are, you know, they're just like right there on that same level, more or less, where it's like we've got some of them, but we haven't really got a lot of them. And I would even say the same thing for Sophie from Hina. We're getting more of her now, but it's still just those little specks. And I don't even think we've gotten much of her personally, where Survivor is really big on that right now. So those are my picks next to go. But you know, I just love Survivor so much, and one thing that I am loving watching this season is really following the stories of all of the characters and the stories that they're giving us, because they're giving them us for a reason. And I think that is the way that, you know, anyone is going to get the most out of Survivor 49, or maybe just a lot of reality TV in general, where, or maybe it's just a Survivor specific thing because, like, the way they're doing things now, but you have the capability of getting invested in all of the characters. And Now it's gotten to a point for me where I'm being very analytical about it, and I want to be able to make a good assessment on who I think is going to go far, who I think is going to go home. But and who I think like the main story is about, and like how they're what story they're telling, how they're telling the story. And they're doing, like, again, they're doing such a great job, because I don't know. Like, there's only 10 people left in the game now. That's like more than half, a little more than half. But even at that, there's still so many people that we are getting a good amount of, to where it's just like, okay, well, whose story is this? And that's what makes Survivor so good. Um, like, we started off with the three tribes. Kelly is infamously gone down to just the two members, Alex and Sophie. So inevitably, we got a lot of them in the beginning. And historically, with tribes that have failed like that in the beginning, where it gets just down to the final two people, those two people usually do pretty good throughout the game. So, again, like, those two have been big storytellers. Like, we still get little bits of them even in episodes where they're not the predominant character that the show's focusing on, or like the episode is focusing on. But so there's those two people, and then now we have still an even split between Uli and Hina. We have 4 and 4. So with Hina, we have Christina and Sophie, again, who I think are the next to go. And then the other two people are MC and Steven, who are up there with Alex and the other Sophie, where they have been pretty predominant throughout the show. We've heard a lot from them, even whenever, again, they're not the main focus. We get a little bit of MC, we get a little bit of Steven, and I do love them both. So that's 4 people there. And then now going to Uli, we have Jawan and Sage, who I would argue are the more front and center characters than Savannah and Rizzo. And it really is just crazy the way all of this is working out, the way all of this is breaking down. Because in one of my episodes this season, I've talked about, Jeff opening his big mouth, talking about how the season is great at the end, and it really ramps up and it gets better and better. And then I think he got a lot of flack for that. And then he came back and started to say, like, oh no, the whole season is great. Mind you, this is like week 2, week 3 of the show already being aired. And we're kind of like, okay, this is a little bit like snooze alert, like snooze control. Last week's episode, or my last episode, I talked about the shadow and cloud that Survivor 50 has caused this season. And bam, here it is. We see where it originated and how it started. They were shoving this down their throat, like literally bringing it up in the middle of the show for them, in the middle of the game. I don't think there should be any spots left for 50 at that point. They have so many people to pick from. They're good. They're like to capacity. They don't need, anyway, I'm not even going to go into that. Okay, so yeah, no, so I'm always thinking about Rizzo and Savannah are apparently reportedly the people that are going to be back for 50. It's just a lot of people, because then you have Sage and Jawan joining the 4 others, so that makes 6. And then with these 2, like, kind of dark horses, that makes 8. 8 out of the 10 people are really seeming like they are the main characters for me. It's like Survivor has done a great job of showing us enough of these people to get us to the point where, like, they could all be the main character. This could all be their winning season of Survivor. And I am very curious to see what happens exactly. I had the idea, what if Jawan and Sage were the people that came back? Because I think I said that last week, like, they're the 2 people that I would want to see come back the most out of all of these people so far. But yeah, so there's that. There's Survivor 49, episode 7. Oh, something that does happen in this episode, MC plays their idol. And I'm very curious if people on her side are going to take that as like a sign of mistrust, because they had 7 people out of the 11 vote their way, and she's over here playing her idol. Like, do you not trust us? So I'm very curious if that's going to have any ramifications for her. My name is Randy, and I am signing off. I hope you all take it easy, have a great week, and I hope you, I don't know.